A new tech war is starting in Silicon Valley, but unlike the smartphone wars, you won't see long lines outside stores. You won't see obvious winners or losers, and you probably won't even realize it's happening, because this war is quieter, more experimental, and much more important. It's the battle over the next everyday device, not phones, not laptops. Something new, something that could eventually replace both. And right now, the biggest companies in tech are racing to figure out what that device will be. Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, even smaller startups backed by major investors. They're all building different versions of the same idea. A new kind of gadget, one that doesn't look like traditional technology, and more importantly, one that doesn't behave like it either. Let's start with what makes this moment different. In past tech wars, the category was clear. Smartphones, tablets, laptops, everyone knew what they were building. They were just trying to build the best version. But this time, no one fully knows what the winning device looks like. And that uncertainty is driving the competition. Some companies are betting on smart glasses. Lightweight, always on. Overlaying information onto the real world. Instead of looking down at a screen, you look forward, and the information appears in front of you. Others are betting on AI wearables. Small devices you carry or wear, no screen, no apps, just an assistant that listens, understands, and acts. You speak, it responds, it handles tasks in the background. Then there are immersive devices, headsets, spatial computing systems, blending digital and physical environments, turning your surroundings into an interface. Each of these approaches is different, but they all point to the same goal: replacing the smartphone as the center of your digital life. And that's why this war matters so much. Because the company that defines the next device doesn't just sell hardware, it controls the next platform. And platforms are where the real power is. Think about what the smartphone did. It became the gateway to everything: apps, services, payments, content, communication. Whoever controlled that gateway controlled the ecosystem. That's why Apple and Google became so dominant. Now imagine that gateway changes. Instead of a screen, it's voice, or augmented reality, or an AI that acts on your behalf. The entire structure of the tech industry shifts, and that's exactly what's at stake. But here's what makes this war even more interesting. It's not just about hardware, it's about behavior. Because a new device only succeeds if it changes how people live. Smartphones worked because they made life easier. Faster communication, instant access to information, portable everything. The next device has to do the same, but in a different way. It has to remove friction, reduce effort, save time, and ideally, disappear into the background. That's why so many of these new gadgets don't have screens. Because the screen is now seen as a problem. It demands attention. It creates distraction. It forces you to stop what you're doing and look down. The next generation of devices is trying to remove that friction, make interaction more natural, more seamless, more integrated into everyday life. So instead of pulling out a phone, you just speak, or glance, or think about what you need, and the system responds. That's the vision. But getting there is incredibly difficult, because this isn't just a technological challenge, it's a human one. People are used to screens, they understand them, they trust them. Moving to something invisible, something that works in the background, requires a completely different level of trust. And that's one of the biggest barriers. Another challenge is practicality. Many of these devices still have limitations. Battery life, accuracy, comfort, social acceptance. Wearing smart glasses all day, talking to an AI assistant in public, relying on a system you can't fully see. These are not small changes, so adoption won't happen overnight. Which is why this war is happening quietly. Companies are experimenting, testing, learning, failing, trying different approaches, because no one wants to commit too early to the wrong idea. At the same time, no one wants to be late, because if one company gets it right, the others could fall behind quickly. And in tech, missing a platform shift can be devastating. We've seen it before. Companies that dominated one era failed to adapt to the next and lost everything. That's the fear driving this race. But there's also a deeper layer to this competition. Data. These new devices don't just replace smartphones. They collect different kinds of data. More context, more real-world information, more continuous input. What you see, what you say, where you go, what you do in real time. This is far more powerful than simple app usage. And it feeds directly into AI, making systems smarter, more predictive, more personalized. So the company that controls the device controls the data, and the company that controls the data controls the intelligence. And that's where the real advantage lies. So what we're seeing in Silicon Valley right now is not just a gadget race, it's a platform war in its earliest stage, a battle to define the next interface, the next habit, the next way humans interact with technology, and the outcome is still uncertain. Smart glasses might win, AI wearables might win, something entirely new might emerge, or multiple devices might coexist. But one thing is clear, the smartphone will not be the center forever, and the companies that understand that are already building what comes next. Quietly, behind the scenes, testing ideas most people haven't even seen yet.